That's nice. This is Jack. Jack is currently having some of the best times in his life in the slums of Makoko in Lagos, Nigeria. Which country are you from?
U.S.
From the US?
Yep.
Where exactly in the US?
Right in the middle, Kansas.
Oh, Kent, eh? Great. So you're having a good experience here, right?
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, this is beautiful. Jack is 60 years old and he's from Kent in the United States, but currently lives in Makoko, Lagos, Nigeria, where he's doing some of the incredible humanitarian works by helping the people to build a better water system and to grow vegetables. Makoko is located under the third mainland bridge along the lagoons of Lagos. The people build their houses on sticks and is acclaimed to be the world's largest floating slum. We meet up with Jack and he walks us through some of his incredible work and experience in living in Makoko.
My name's Jack Kyle, and I'm from Manhattan, Kansas, which is right in the middle of the U.S. I'm a school teacher, been a pastor. I have a degree in education, a master's in technology, and my doctorate work is in social emotional learning. And I always wanted, my whole life I wanted to go to somewhere that people were struggling for food and help them. And the reason is, in America, when you're growing up as a little boy, your parents would say, you eat everything on your plate because somewhere in Africa, someone's starving. And they said that to me growing up as a little boy. And that really made me angry inside. It was like, why aren't we doing something about this? If there's people starving to death in Africa, why can't we change that? And nobody ever said anything about changing it. They just said, eat all your food because there's people hurting. So my whole life I wanted to come here and try to do something, and finally I'm 60 years old. I have some ideas of how to help, and so I felt like I could come and do a few things. So
wow, incredible.
So
This is beautiful.
new missionary house.
Wow.
This is where the missionaries stay. It's where I'm at.
Wow, this is incredible.
So building this was our first project.
Oh, okay, building this whole house.
So that way anybody can come here from anywhere in the world to help. And this is our first project. It's just a simple cistern. So what we're doing is we're catching the water off the roof. There's a lot of water here. And that gives them water for wash and cleaning. The goal is to get cisterns in every house. But to do that, you're going to need a lot of people to be willing to volunteer and give. So it doesn't cost very much, but it costs something. It costs time. Most of the people here are just surviving. So they don't have a lot of time to build cisterns or money. They're just, day to day getting enough money to eat. And so people from around the world care. There's people that care about others who are in poverty. And so they're willing to come here if there's a place to stay and you feel safe and work. And so more can come and build more of these around the community. And someone else from outside Makoko donated filters. And those water filters can take this water and filter it to this quality.
I see.
So you can go from here, this is for wash,
Okay.
and to take baths and to clean, and this is to drink. So that right there makes a huge difference. This bottled water makes a huge difference in the health of the people. And I would guess, this is just my guess, that a lot of the health problems have to do with clean drinking water. Right now, they're buying their bottled water, and they're also buying their wash water. So there's a lot of money that poor people are spending just to have water to wash and drink. And when they're out of money, then of course the drinking water and the wash water is the first thing that goes, because they're just trying to find food.
This gets the water, right?
Yeah, off the roof. And there's a
gets it
lot
from
of
the
rain, yeah.
Oh, okay. It gets the rainwater.
Yeah.
Filters into this place.
Yeah.
And then from here it's purified.
Yes.
From this place
yes.
it's purified.
Well, partially. It's refined for drinking, but it's also just used straight for cleaning and washing. 'Cause this is good wash water.
So the main source is the rainwater.
That's right. And was it yesterday we had a big rain and we just filled it up. And then we were filling up buckets of water. And so I'm hoping to start a cooperative among the poor, and they work together with these filters to save money and build up extra money. Maybe they can use the cooperative to start buying solar panels, or because I don't think Lagos or Nigeria cares at all for the Makoko people. I don't feel that. Maybe they do, I don't know. But I don't think any of their tax money is going back to the utilities in Makoko. So if the Makoko people are going to have fresh water or utilities or electricity, I think they're going to have to figure it out for themselves. And that's the power of a cooperative, is that you can work together to beat the larger system that's always charging you way too much money for bottled water. So that's the only way to beat the system.
While there are plenty of challenges in Makoko, but the most immediate is having a good drinking water. The people have to buy water from individuals who have dug boreholes in the community, and that costs quite a lot of money. This water problem also led me and my subscribers to donate a borehole to the community, which is changing their lives right now. I'll talk about the project in another video.
Before now, there was no good drinking water that the students could have. But right now, there's a good drinking water, and they can enjoy this water. Okay, fresh water. Alright, let's drink. How does it taste? You want to finish the water? How does it taste? It tastes okay? Good.
Jack's simple system of collecting the rainwater with pipe and filtering it provides a good options for the people.
I would have made this differently, but being a school teacher, I forced myself to step back and just watch how the guys I was working with decided to make it.
Okay.
And because I believe in letting
ownership.
Ownership, and if it didn't work, then we'd make an adjustment. And lo and behold, we had a really big rain, and it worked perfect. So, and it's light. This stuff is cheap material, and it caught the rain perfect and just went straight in there. And
So once the rain comes in here, it flows this way,
that
pipe, and then gets into the
free water, free fresh water.
Well, during
And
dry
they're all
season,
buying it, and they're hauling it in. Can you imagine hauling in water with those boats?
Yes. Yeah, and it's quite expensive right now.
Yeah.
Given the fuel price is quite high in Nigeria.
Yeah,
It's quite expensive.
and all that rain is coming down.
But during dry season, so the system then doesn't work anymore.
Well,
That is
that's what
sustainability.
right. So I'm having trouble getting. Maybe you can help with this too. There's a lot of information that I need about the local environment, which I ask the local people here, and I get different answers.
Okay.
So I've been asking about the dry season and how much rain they actually get on the dry season, and I don't know yet. But I know right now, during this season, they don't have to buy water. So it may be a problem in the dry season. I don't know how often.
It is actually for dry season for like 4 months there will be no rain.
And what months is?
I think from November to March in this part of Nigeria, because November period towards the southern part of Nigeria you still have rain.
But in this part, I think from November till March, you actually have no rain.
No rain.
Yes.
So this may not work in
Yes,
between
not
November,
anymore.
but for those other 9 months it will.
Yeah, the other 9 months, the
And,
rain.
and we might be able to figure out other ways to collect water. Once you form that cooperative, they may be able to work together to put it together, work with wells or something. But they'll at least have some place to store it.
Yes.
So
All right, beautiful. So,
yeah,
how much did it cost to put this together? Do you have an idea?
this system is $60 plus the tank is another 20, so that's 80 US dollars.
$80.
Yeah.
So this is good system, and I wonder why they haven't thought about it until you came.
I have wondered that too, and the only thing I can come up with is when you're in poverty, you can't think ahead like that. And it's the same thing with bulk food. Like I bought a big old sack of rice for 48,000 naira,
Yes.
but they're buying little packages of rice
Yeah.
for who knows what, and by the time they buy the same amount,
It's more expensive.
they've spent 100, and that's how the poor is always staying down. They can't buy in bulk. They can't unless they work together. They can't beat the system.
Next project you're probably looking at is probably
Well, I can show you a little bit. If you come back next week, I can show you more.
okay.
But my next project is to make a door right here.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to walk out and walk on a plank across this back wall.
Okay.
And right here, I'm going to build a tilapia fish tank.
Oh, okay.
So the fish tank water is going to be pumped outside on the walls will be tubes, the same tubes that we made the guttering out of. And those tubes will have tomato plants in the tubes. And so we'll begin growing vegetables and plants on the side of the wall. You notice that Makoko has nothing green. There's no green.
Exactly.
And in fact, their heritage is fishermen. They're fishermen. And so I'd like to introduce growing their own peppers, growing their own. Now they know fish. They could grow fish, but I'd like to begin to grow food, and then they can have another source to sell or supplement their own food needs. So that's my original vision for coming, but it just became obvious that water was first.
So is it going to be some kind of like a soilless
Yes.
farming?
Yes. Yeah. That's called hydroponics and aquaculture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think that will bring that's definitely a more better healthy way of living, because that
Yeah.
means you can grow your own food, then you have
Yeah.
clean water, then you have fish
Yeah.
as well.
It cleans the water. Yeah. Right now the water is fresh. So they could be growing plants just from that water right now. That water has lots of plant nutrients in it. So you can grow so many plants on that right now.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. So
So how long have you been here?
been here 1 month, and still have 2 more months. In fact, today is the end of my first month. So I have 2 more months to work, and then I'll
So in 3 months.
yeah, because Nigeria kicks us out after 3 months.
Your visa.
Yeah,
So
visa.
you have to do 1 month first, then you extend for 2 months.
Yeah, and then they kick you out. So I'm thinking about going to Kenya and setting up this same aquaculture system in Kenya, and then coming back to Makoko, if God had opened that door.
Okay, but I have a question.
Yes.
You're leaving Nigeria in 3 months. Is it because of the visa issue? Because
Yes.
if it's that can be solved actually.
I wish. I mean, if you tell me how.
So if you get the opportunity to get it solved, will you be willing to stay more?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Because we have people from immigration who are also part of our platform who watches this video. We can actually get you permanent residence.
Please.
Which is like 1 year.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So once you get that, you can probably stay longer and work longer.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. That's what we do.
That's yay.
Yeah. So we're going to get your contacts.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we can also communicate to you directly.
Okay.
Yes. And then your mission work that you do, is it registered or just as an individual?
It's just it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just doing the work.
Yeah. Now Taiwu has a foundation, and there is I built a website for people to apply to come and live right in this missionary house. So if you point people to his foundation, then he has a website that I built for him, and then they can go there and they can sign up to live in this house. Anybody in the world to come and help. Yeah.
Beautiful. So let's take a look at where you sleep. So this is basically.
Yep, that's my bed.
Basically where you.
Yep. Yeah.
So this is the nets.
Yes.
And this is the bed.
Yes. And
so you've been sleeping here for 1 month.
I sleep fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
This is perfect. That's all I needed.
This is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So
Well, I mean, I think that what has to happen is people have to step away from materialism. That what really is important is relationships. And once you take that step away from getting things and seeing that the real meaning of life is in friendships and in loving one another, once you take that step, it really doesn't matter where you sleep or what you eat or what, as long as you're with people that you care about.
That's right.
But that's a hard transition because we're all trained to get a car, get a house, get a swimming pool, and back in the U.S. that's all it is. But I don't know if it's not all it is, but there's a lot of it,
Yeah.
a lot of materialism.
This is really beautiful, and I think your story will really inspire a lot of people to also even experiencing a different lifestyle entirely, at least once in your lifetime.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. I think.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're 60, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that somebody should experience once in a lifetime.
That is
a
true.
different culture, a different living, because that also changes your perspective about people,
Yeah.
even about Africa generally.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's beautiful. So how do you deal with? Do you have any challenges so far living here? Mosquitoes.
The mosquitoes. You kind of learn to live with them.
Okay.
You know when they're coming out, so that's when you put the mosquito screen on, and then when you go to bed you put the net on, and I mean I have a few bumps, but not as many as when you first saw me. You remember my legs were covered that first time. So, yeah.
I believe that instead of the Lagos State government spending its time trying to figure out a way to actually evacuate these people and push them out of Makoko, it will be more sustainable and even more profitable for them if they can actually turn this place to $1 million tourist attraction. As it stands at the moment, Makoko is one place that most foreigners they actually want to visit when they come to Nigeria or when they come to Lagos for the first time. But many of them can't even visit because of the issue of insecurity, issues of doubts, and not very sure if that place is safe for them or not. So imagine if the government steps in and how much they can actually make from Makoko as turning it as a proper tourist center. Let's look at what Jack is doing. If Makoko is properly cleaned up and the place is looking much better and the people can grow their own food, so you come in, you see people living in water, growing their own food, that will really, really be a good tourist place for many people to actually visit. So, Mr. President, Mr. Governor, and whoever is the Minister of Tourism right now, please do something about this instead of demolishing and chasing the people out of this place.
I want you to share with us your experience and probably the word of advice you have to someone who was like you living in the States, who probably thinking of coming, because people always worry about security and other stuff.
That's a great question. So what caused me to feel comfortable enough to come was the invitation by Taiwu to stay here, and he lives right next door, so he's in this side and I'm in this side. So I feel like any missionary that came would be under the umbrella of protection from the Shimide family. And so I've gotten to meet the chief, sat down and enjoyed a meal with him. And so that's the leadership, at least of this area.
Okay.
So this is kind of a perfect setup, really.
So that means you feel safe
Yeah.
staying here because your host is with you, he takes care of you.
And he's a leader in the community. So
Beautiful. But then, what's your experience generally? I know you probably enjoyed the mission work, but what's generally your experience before you came, and now you came? What's the difference?
before I came, I worked with homeless people in America, and it was very frustrating because it just seemed like I couldn't get any traction and get anything done that would work like this. It just seemed like I couldn't do anything that helped the problem really. It felt that way. So coming here and working with the people at Makoko, it's slow work, but that's okay because it's all about relationships, and I feel like I'm doing something. I'm getting some traction. But it's all about the relationships.
Well, you're having a good time. I saw you playing football in the morning.
Oh yeah. That was
lovely.
good.
I felt like joining, but
You
I had
should
a
have.
mission.
You should.
I had a mission to complete. But this is beautiful.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
like I said, so we have some people in immigration who are
Thank
part
you.
of the platform. So we're going to put this video out, and hopefully they'll be able to reach out and be able to help, because I know you can actually get what we call CPAC. So
Good.
It's a resident permit for 1 year.
Good.
So I know you can get that. So we
Thank
just
you.
check with them and check what's required and all of that. Then
Thank
reach
you.
out to So you can probably continue your great work here, and
That would be
that will probably
great.
help others to come to.
Excellent.
No problem.
Thank you so
So-
much.